I'm going to show you how this Claude Cowork agent, basically a scheduled worker, is set up to automatically generate a blog entry and generate a blog image and send it to the right person so they can publish it on your blog. So the idea over here is that you don't need to create content yourself every week or every day or whatever it is cadence that you're using. We used to have a person doing all this stuff before, but it's not really necessary. As long as you know what you want to blog about, you can train the agent or train the scheduled worker like this to make it happen. So as a small business owner or a department lead, this could be helpful to you. So let me show you the process. First of all, this is the blog that I'm talking about. So in here, these are all these blog entries. We used to write them by hand before, a content creator would create the content, create the image, but not really needed. We do have a person posting this stuff, which actually can be automated also, but we're not going to do that right now. But these things here with the actual, it's a great graphic here, was created using Claude Cowork in this case. Same thing with all the actual content. And this is visualspeed.com/blog. By the way, this is our company. I'm going to show you how the scheduled task is created using Claude Cowork. So you can do something similar as well if you like. And if you need help with any of these things, reach out to me. Let me know. I coach business owners and department leads on this as well. So let me show you. A couple of main things to see in Claude Cowork. It's the actual scheduled worker / agent, basically. It's called a weekly blog creator. Here you can see that for August 3rd, 2026, not that long ago, here's the actual image that was generated by Claude. Now I've given it specific branding instructions and other instructions as to what to create. So it made this thing automatically. It's all about giving the right instruction. Then in here is the actual file, the HTML file. So that was an SVG image, which SVG, if you don't know, you can take that image and a person can use that image for any type of scale. It can be made into a PNG and JPEG and stuff like that as well and used anywhere. SVG is the kind of image to make, and it makes it automatically. You don't have to really think about it. And then this is the actual article, the blog that is pushing or creating in this case and pushing it out to our guy. So those are the two main things that it's doing. I'm going to also show you that it is using it's actually using my browser in this case. And we use Outlook in our case to email. So it uses Outlook, emails a person with all that information. Let me show you exactly what that looks like also. You can use that for Gmail or whatever, that doesn't matter. Let me show you what the final output looks like. Here's the final output. This email, again, was created, generated, sent automatically from myself to myself, as well as our main web admin or main web designer in this case was pushing it out saying, hey, Chad, this week's adoption blog is this HTML file attached and the image attached, talking about the headline. And this is my alter ego in Claude. His name is Albert. So it says it's signed by Albert on my behalf, sending it out. Again, the whole reason for this is I don't want to be writing this manually, and I don't want to be paying someone to write this on a regular basis. So why not let AI take care of it, especially if you train your AI, your coworker in this case, the right way. So it uses your voice, uses your instructions to create the blog. Okay. Now let me show you how this is created. Back in Claude Cowork, here are the instructions. There's always a MD file, .md. Okay, that stands for Markdown file. And then it has all this information in the MD file. It's telling it exactly what to do, what not to do. So, hey, this is Asif's main Claude Cowork. This is your memory of what you're going to do. You're going to write everything to the memory file. It's the memory.md file. Honestly, it looks more technical than it really is. You don't have to really write all this content. When you're instructing it and having it create a scheduled worker like this for yourself, it writes all the stuff for you. Okay? It's telling it, the Cowork process in this case, who I am, what I do. I run a company called Visual SP. It's a software company. We focus on Microsoft Copilot and AI adoption, training, and user support, the tools that I use, and a whole lot more. So I'm telling you a lot of the stuff, very internal, very intimate to what we do, but hopefully this helps you. But these are the instructions that were created for Claude to be able to do that. And to make these instructions, again, you don't really have to write all that stuff. You start with in Claude Cowork, you say, okay, I want to make a scheduled task, or I want to make an agent, whatever you want to call it. And that agent is going to do the following. So in this particular case, it's going off of every week on a specific date, do something, right? So as you can see, there are different runs that have happened every week: August 10th, August 3rd, July 27th at 5:30 a.m. And by the way, the reasoning for doing it so early in the morning is you want to do it at a time when it's taking less tokens to create that, the content or run that scheduled task. It's all about tokens these days and how much it's going to cost you in tokens. In my case over here, you could pay a couple $100 a month and it takes care of most of it. That's what I'm doing. If you run Claude Enterprise, then you got to pay as you go. It's a lot more complicated. This is a lot more simpler. Again, if you need coaching on this thing, reach out to me and we can talk about it. But the other thing that you want to see is that this shows all the runs that have happened, but what about where all the stuff is defined, or where it shows the actual scheduled task and when it's supposed to run? So let me show you that interface as well. Again, this is all the different runs that have happened for a scheduled task. And to go to the scheduled task, or the quote unquote agent, your scheduled worker, you go to scheduled in this case, and I am just showing you that this is where the weekly blog creator is set up. This is the actual instruction that is telling it what to do, when to do it, how to do it, who to send this to. It's the same instructions that I just showed you right now in the instructions file right here. All the same instructions here. But then when do you run these instructions? Repeats every Monday, 5:30 a.m. This is also very important that in this case it shows always allowed. And what this means over here is that if you don't do this, it's going to slow down your process. It's going to stop and it's going to ask you, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? So always allowed is good once you get comfortable with the processes. Definitely recommend it. This pencil sign or the pencil icon at the top is where you can go and see exactly the name, the description that's been set up, the actual instructions that, once again, I've showed you a couple times now, but this is what the instruction, this is where you can actually go ahead and change stuff around. I can go ahead and type in here if I wanted to. You don't really need to do it manually like that. Once again, you can go to Claude itself and say, I want to change the weekly blog creator scheduled task. And here's what I want to change. That you basically just say that in English. I want to change it. Here's what I want to change. It will go into instructions here. It will make the changes. Okay, and exactly which model you want to use. When do you want it to run? And then if it's going to be running on this computer or not. So in my case, I do have some instructions files, memory files and stuff like that that are on this computer that they're looking at here. It makes sense for me to run on this computer, but you can also have specific agents or tasks that could be running in the cloud as well. All right, so, but this one runs on the computer, it just makes sense. Again, the whole reasoning for this agent is I don't want to be creating log entries manually myself. I know exactly what I want to create, so I've been training this agent for quite a while, and I still sometimes train or retrain or reiterate the agent to tell it, well, you've done this thing, I want you to do a little bit different, or you're doing this currently right now, I want you to enhance a little bit further. And you have to think about it like you're talking to an employee. It's a junior employee that you're training. Delegation is the name of the game, especially if you're a small business owner or if you're a mid-sized organization, department lead. These are the kind of things where you want to automate it using AI. Why not? So just wanted to give you a quick rundown of exactly how this works. I have a lot more scheduled tasks and agents and stuff like that I'll talk about later as well. if you do need help with any of this kind of stuff, let me know. My name is Asif Rahmani, and I do coaching on this kind of stuff. So let me know if I can help. Talk to you soon.